Chief, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Potter, Director of Metro Water. First and foremost, there is zero concern about water quality in Davidson County in Nashville. If that changes, I will immediately let everybody know. Right now, we've got 9 main breaks that we're under repair. We've got 7 under investigation, and that number is going to go up. As we continue to thaw, we'll see more main breaks, and I need everybody to call 615-862-4600 if you see a main break or indications therein. Let's talk about what I'm doing at my house to protect my plumbing. My house doesn't have power, so what I've done is every faucet in my home, kitchen, bathroom, shower, whatever, I'm turning on both the hot and the cold tap at the same time and establishing a little stream of flow out of that tap. That's your best defense against any kind of frozen pipes. I'm getting questions about whether it's a better idea to drain the system. Well, if you drain the system, there's a risk that you don't open the lowest point of your plumbing system. If you don't open the lowest point, you're going to have water standing in a pipe that's not moving. And it'll likely be a very small amount of water. And if that occurs, it's going to freeze, and it will probably damage your pipes. So there's one caveat to that. Now, if you have a grinder pump system on your sewer system, and people who do have that system will know, and you don't have power, you can't drip your systems because you'll fill up the reservoir from which that pump pumps. So that is a pickle for some people that have a grinder pump system. In that case, do your best attempt to drain your system and shut your isolation valve to minimize the amount of flow that you've got going, that you've got in your system. And also, another suggestion that has come aware is visualize an addition over a carport. I've had people contact me and ask, why that froze and the rest of their houses didn't. You can think about that as like a bridge or an overpass, and you've got water, you've got cold air underneath. That's going to freeze first. So if you can, make sure that's flowing as much as you possibly can the most, because that's going to be your biggest risk. I want to stress the need to check unoccupied businesses and unoccupied homes to make sure that you've got water flowing in those residences and businesses that may not be occupied, because the water hasn't been moving. So if you have opportunity, go check that out. Finally, at my house, I'm going in the morning and in the evening to check my house, and while I'm there, I flush the toilets 4 or 5 times to get as much water flowing into it as I can. So the reason why is the water leaving the plant right now is about 45 to 46 degrees, and then when it gets into the ground, it'll heat up a little bit because the ground is warmer. But as it gets above ground and into your home, and you've got 32-degree air surrounding your pipes, from a heat transfer perspective, if you think about a pond will freeze before a river, and it's because the water is moving. So that's my report. Thank you, Chief Swan.